Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. On this episode of Legally Joy, we're going to be talking about a very important topic: 5 laws that every Nigerian must know. And these 5 laws affect our day to day activities. So, whether you are a student, you are a worker, you are a business owner, you are a Nigerian living in diaspora, or you are just a curious Nigerian citizen, it is important that you have basic knowledge of these 5 laws. So, let's get right to it. Now, the first on our list is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is the supreme law of the land. It is the mother of all laws. It is the law that gives birth to other laws in Nigeria. It is from this law that all other laws derives their power. So it talks about the whole operation of the government of Nigeria or the system of Nigeria. It talks about the fundamental rights of every citizen of Nigeria. It even talks about citizenship. It talks about your right to freedom of speech, your right to freedom of expression, your right to movement of wherever you want to go to. It talks about election. It talks about the powers of the Nigerian army, what they can do, what they cannot do, the police, the local government. It talks about the judiciary, which has to do with the court from the Supreme Court down to the customary court, which we call area court, small claims court that has to do with small issues. If you did a traditional marriage, you know that customary marriage, that's what we call it, customary marriage, that has to do with the customary court. They handle those kind of claims. Or if you maybe like issues of 10,000, small issues, those are what the customary court does. So it basically talks about their powers. It talks also about the public service, the public revenue, how generally the Nigerian operational system is meant to operate. Now, the second on our list is penal code and the criminal code. Those two laws are essential for understanding what amounts to a crime. So the penal code deals with the northern part of Nigeria. The criminal code deals with the southern parts of Nigeria. Now, these laws basically talk about what a crime is. It deals with crimes like theft, stealing, fraud, assault, murder, manslaughter, even fraud. Okay, it talks about what constitutes a crime in that regard, and then it also talks about punishment. Remember that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. I didn't know it was an offense, or I didn't know that it was a crime, does not excuse the punishment of that crime. List is the Labor Act. So this has to do with both employers and employees. This Labor Act talks about the responsibility of an employer and the rights of an employee. So if you have basic knowledge of the Labor Act, you know that recently the government just increased the minimum wage to 70,000. So basically, every Nigerian citizen is not supposed to earn, both private and both public. They are not supposed to earn less than 70,000 naira. So the minimum wages, the minimum salary you're supposed to earn is from 70,000 and above. So when they offer you less, you know that it is against the Labor Act. Okay. And then it also talks about compensation. Or for example, you have been working in a company for 2 years, and just like that, they decide to fire you or sack you without any compensation, without proper notice. You know that you have a right to go to court and claim for any other money they were supposed to pay you, or they even owe you and they did not pay you. Now, the fourth, on our list is the Land Use Act. Now, this law, it talks about ownership and administration of land in Nigeria. It talks about the legal process of how you can acquire land. It talks about the proper channels with which you can acquire a land in Nigeria. It also talks about how you can perfect your title to land. At least it gives you a basic knowledge. If you want to invest, you want to buy land, you want to sell land, at least you know the law that governs the land. Now, the fifth, that's the last but not the least, is the Electoral Act. Now, this law is fundamental for every Nigerian, because every Nigerian who is legally is from 18 and above has the right to vote as a Nigerian. So this law talks about your rights as a Nigerian, the responsibilities of INEC, the responsibilities of candidates, political parties. Let's say, for instance, you went to vote and then you saw something that you know that you have a right to vote for who you want to vote. In the last election, there was a video that was going on in social media about people in Lagos where they were trying to vote, and some thugs went there and were saying that they must vote for a particular candidate. If you know the Electoral Act or you have a basic knowledge, you know that it is completely wrong. As a Nigerian, you have a right under the Electoral Act to vote for whoever you want, free of intimidation or fear of anybody attacking you in the end. So that is the end of this video. If this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to subscribe, put on your notification bell so each time I post a video, you get notified. Don't forget to share. If you have any comments, any questions, or you want me to do a video on a particular topic, you can leave it in the comment section. Until I see you in my next